Greetings. My sinuses are really bothering me bad at about 6, 7 o'clock. I'm sure the trolls will notice that I'm still in my birthday shirt. uh, which is okay. Because I didn't go anywhere today. Hi, whoever just showed up. I went to sleep at about oh 6, 7 o'clock for a while and didn't wake up until midnight. And now I'm bored and not really ready to go back to sleep yet. And I'm writing and reading, and like I do. I mean, this is me. This is what I've always been. My parents told me, no, you aren't what you think you are, and fuck you. You got to do this, or we're going to beat the crap out of you. So I just shut up about it and did a lot of reading and writing all my life. You know, it was what is that? Kick ass and don't take names or whatever the fuck it is. I don't. I've always had the policy of like, don't kick any ass and make sure you remember the names, especially for the next time. So that's what I'm here doing. I'm not really talking about anything in particular. I'm just reading my shit and making sure it's clean. This is the one I'm about to post. The tags are hippie historian, trans wars, and T3 thought police, with an angry rant warning about F-bomb barrage, in reference to only two genders, true believers. And I was triggered by by comments in this article. See, this is why I read them out loud. I don't like the way they sound. And the fucktard whose response to me was, "You're a science-denying dolt." I was amazed that the animated turd spelled "your" correctly. Seriously, fuck off, all of you misinformed mental midgets, straight to fucking hell. Take your obsolete 8th grade biology, shitty scripture interpretations, discredited authorities, and paranoid delusions, mix them with ground glass and bleach, and then stuff them up your stink hole as far as you possibly fucking can. This goes double for the self-loathing, misandrous, phallophobic Truscums, or it's Truscums, trying to tell me that I'm not legitimately transgender because I'm not feminine enough or getting my junk converted. How in the fuck can anyone look at a transmasculine or transfeminine person in the eye and tell them that they're not legitimate? It's not easy to argue the only two genders fallacy once you meet one of us. Spend 5 minutes with me, it's obvious that I'm not a man or a woman, but a blend of both. I can't deny my male aspect because if you back me into a corner, he's right there. This is how I was born. So don't you, a binary person who has had radical surgeries to correct what you consider to be a defect, demanding respect for your choice, dare attempt to tell me that my existence is invalid because I elected not to do that and opted for living with what I was born with. Not only do I never get validation arguments from any of the numerous people I meet on the street, but they also come away from it with a better understanding of why you do what you do. Those of us who suffer chronic acute gender dysphoria totally understand that it's one of the most mentally crippling birth anomalies there is, with the least physical impairment. I truly believe that if gender diverse children were allowed to just be themselves, there would be a whole lot less gender surgery. On the last day, my prayer is that my parents will be given a second chance to raise me right, and that I would grow up, marry a trans man, and who would bear the children that I would mother and live happily forever after. Then I define Truscum for people as the transsexual thought police, also known as transmedicalist or transfundamentalist. T3 is defined as trannier than thou. Seriously, don't read the comment section unless you're wanting to do battle. This article is bad enough. It's the Breitbart article, Texas Republicans push back against child transgender treatments. And then my sign-off tags were gender euphoria, born this way, won't be erased, celebrate diversity, and equality now. So let's see who's here and if anybody said anything. A couple of people here and nobody said anything. Oh, I probably should check my sound, huh? I might not have sound. Do we have sound? Have we got sound? Come on. Have we got sound? Oh, yay. Anybody time the lag? That's some serious lag there. My God, Stark Fist. How are you tonight, man? There's some serious lag there. I don't think so, Han. Yeah, I've like opened myself up to anybody transgender or anybody like LGBTQ who's oh boy, I don't think so, baby. Who's this other one? Oh, that's Dakota. What's her name? So here's I just got a friend request from somebody named Rania Benuti, uh, who went to Femboy Memes for a feminine teens single. Is registered as a him, and the profile picture is a picture of Bailey J. In pink bra and panties, with big old bulge, and then a side shot in her stuff is one of Dakota Kuhn, who's another porn star. No thanks, babe. I don't think so. I don't need the friends that bad. I just don't want to deal with that shit. I'm sorry. I'm monogamous, heterosexual, sort of. And sex is just not really very high on my priority list. Hasn't been ever. And especially not talking about it in public. Okay. Where's my, there it is. Alrighty. Moving right along. Let's see what else I got going on. Okay, that's ready to post, I think. Nah. Well, yeah, it's clean enough. I'm gonna have to polish it a little bit. Let's see what else we got here. I've been doing some serious writing the last few days, boy. Okay, now we have fucking Trump tweeted, my son, Donald J. Trump Jr., is coming out with a new book, Triggered, How the Left Thrives on Hate and Wants to Silence Us. Available tomorrow, November 5th. So this was from yesterday. Great new book that I highly recommend for all to read. Go order it today. Red T. Raccoon posted from the Office of Government Ethics, 2635.702, use of public office for private gain. An employee shall not use his public office for his own private gain, for the endorsement of any product, service, or enterprise, or for the private gain of relatives. Well, shit, they've all done it. Kellyanne does it regularly. He does it regularly. And my comment was, hey, Congress, enough of this shit. Would you please just do your jobs and impeach the motherfucker already? And that's the tag, ITMFA. Then this is cool. Here, let me give you the link to this shit. This is funny. This is a quiz where they give you a bunch of quotes and you have to you have to guess whether it's Trump or Jesus who said it. I got 100%. My friend Scott Elliott, who's like a evangelical deacon or something like that, not evangelical, Episcopal deacon, got 100% too. And my comment to that was, please vote like your life depended on it, because if you're not straight, white, Christian, and make more than $100,000 a year, it does. The straight white privileged Christians are already dead in the spirit. The life of this republic depends on the outcome of next year's election, and my main tag for that, I mean, this is my birthday, baby. It's my 66th birthday. This is what I want for my birthday. Flush the turd, November 3rd. Moving right along. I didn't read this, so I might as well read it to you. Oakland becomes the first U.S. city to decriminalize DMT, mescaline, and ibogaine. I have to hire a professional exterminator. I go in and sprayed the shit out of everything over here, and it hardly slowed them down. Okay, so this is already old news. This is from June 4th. The release was June 18th. They voted to decriminalize the possession and use of all entheogenic plants. What do they call them? Botanical medicine. Well, botanical medicine plants is pretty much how I describe it. Entheogenic. Oh, I guess that's just a particular kind, the hallucinogenic. I wonder what entheogenic is, how entheogenic is defined. Oakland's the second city to decriminalize magic mushrooms. How about ergot, guys? That's where LSD comes from. Okay. Entheogen, originally conceived by Ott Ruck and other colleagues from a working group of anthropologists and ethnobotanists in 1979, and defined herein as the full spectrum of plants, fungi, and natural materials deserving reverence and respect from the perspective of the individual and the collective that can inspire personal and spiritual well-being, can benefit psychological and physical wellness, and can reestablish humans' inalienable and direct relationship to nature. Well, I'm still not sure if that only includes hallucinogens or from this, where it can benefit psychological and physical wellness. I mean, that's real broad. Include everything that we can use as medicine. I mean, like cinnamon even, or clove would be considered entheogenic because of their antibiotic properties. So we don't need to read that whole thing. That's even old news. Okay, so your newswire has, I don't even want to read this shit either, because, there's no surprises here. There's probably nothing I didn't already know, and any of my more woke following didn't already know. Declassified CIA documents reveals the Iraq War had zero justification. So my comments was, so what else is new? Are we getting war crime trials anytime soon? This is funny. I'm not even going to say what it is. It's like, I'm just going to describe it. It's what I'm calling a visual pun. I'll put the link in there for you. This is pretty. This is a groaner. Ah, shit, that link's too big. I'll try again. Fuck. Oh, maybe I can just get it without all that extra crap hanging on it. Let's see if that works. Facebook adds a lot of shit. The URL is just up to the point, the .jpg or whatever extension for the image, and then there's all this crap after the question mark that won't fit in the comment in the chatter here. Let's see if this one fits. Now let's see if it works. I guess I'm not keeping anybody's attention very much tonight. Now that fits. Let's see if it works. Bad URL. Nope, doesn't work. Fuck it. It's timestamped. It says forward this to people, and it's a photo of a chainmail shirt, a tunic, chainmail tunic. It says forward this to people. It's to 10 people. So one of my friends asked, yes, on Sunday at 5 in the afternoon, how many times were you confused about what time it was? Trying to reassure myself this is normal behavior today. So my response to her was, if you lived in Arizona, you wouldn't have to suffer all this high anxiety twice a year. But since we don't really want all of you here, maybe you should do what we did and get your legislatures to stop doing it. And someone else asked this morning, well, they asked 10 hours ago, but this is kind of shit I've been seeing this morning. I'm still walking around every day wondering what in the fuck happened. Did you ever go through that? And my response to that was several times a day since November 8th, 2016. Next year promises to be my best or worst birthday ever. My mother refused to go to the hospital until the 1954 election results were in. And how was that? By 3:20 a.m. And it was an off year. It was a mid-year thing. But I think there were some important state elections that year for her. Right? She was an election. I hate to, how do you talk about the past of people like your parents who are still alive without like making it sound like they're already dead? Eleanor, like, my mother was an election judge. My father was a professional bass fisherman. They're still alive. They're not doing either anymore. Dad probably still fishing some. But they're still alive. So how do you talk about the past? Things that people aren't doing anymore, but they're still alive. I'll never understand how Americans got so stupid that they elected an apricot-faced serial child molesting con artist who ridicules disabled people and bankrupted 6 businesses, screwing his investors out of billions. That guy is so crooked, he can't get a gaming license for the Vegas Trump Tower. Go figure. Impeach the motherfucker already. ITMFA. Flush the turd, November 3rd. Then there was a thing where there was a wine festival about the comment section on a story about a first non-binary homecoming queen at some school, I think in California, and the queers were bitching and moaning about all the stupid comments people were making, and so I didn't even say anything to that or share it, but I went off and made my own little thing. It's okay. So not one queer person or straight ally anywhere would think, oh no, and this wasn't about that. This was about a stabbing that happened at that was a different. That's what the babble about the non-binary homecoming queen just kind of is what lit the fire over the Breitbart article. It's like, okay, that's enough of this shit. That's when that came out. This one came. This was what I was inspired to write about a stabbing that occurred at a Popeyes in Maryland over somebody cutting in line to get while there's this big rush on a chicken sandwich, and the fight spilled outside, and the guy got stabbed and he died. So my thoughts on this whole thing were in other directions. So okay, so not one queer person, yeah, because I'm into boycott, BDS, man. You want to fuck over the establishment, just stop buying their shit. That's all you got. Just stop buying it. Okay, so not one queer person or straight ally anywhere would think to set foot in a Chick-fil-A, and now there's a murder in a Popeyes that isn't going to do their chain any good. Of the fried chicken chains, I like Popeyes best. KFC is owned by PepsiCo, and I boycott them because of their relations with the Zionist project. Church's just plain sucks. Way too much breading that has no flavor. So where to go out for chicken? I recommend El Pollo Loco. The chicken is broiled rather than fried, and the sides are excellent. I'm not a big fan of refried beans, so I especially like the whole beans they serve. Best of all, a very dynamic transgender activist, Michaela Mendelson, owns a large franchise in California, and El Pollo Loco hires a lot of transgender people. And then I included a link to a story in the LA Times about her and her franchise. Oh, I did share the thing about the stabbing at Popeyes. My comment to that was, as the American empire rots from the inside, I fear we'll be seeing more and more people killing each other over more and more petty reasons. The article didn't say the race of the people in the fight. I'm going to go with white. I can't picture white, non-white people getting that bent out of shape over something like that. It's like a case of pedestrian road rage or something. And here's a simple truth somebody shared this morning. If your faith allows you to believe that Donald Trump is a God-fearing Christian and Barack Obama wasn't, your faith is white supremacy. Okay, I didn't read this. I just shared it for later. So we might as well see what's up with this. Transgender worker. Charter Communications made me dress as a man for 2 weeks as I transitioned and then hired me. And the story is misgendering her and dead naming her. I don't think I want to read this because it's misgendering and dead naming her. Oh shit! Even the fucking attorneys are misgendering her or dead naming her. I'm not reading that. Good old New York Daily News. Just one step away from New York Post as far as tabloid. Brooklyn woman charged with making her roommate's dog perform a sex act. Mexican day laborer forced to have sex at gunpoint. Second woman. Oh boy. Second woman claims billionaire pervert Jeffrey Epstein directed her to have sex with Alan Dershowitz. But this is some sad news for porn lovers. Jessica James is dead at 43. And let's see what killed her. Possibly those giant silicone titties. There's a big problem with that, with silicone titties and cancer. Big warning, speaking out about problems with theirs yet. One of the YouTube, Instagram stars by the name of Kayla Ward decided hers were too big recently and got a reduction. Boy, that kid, Brittany Cade, when she first appeared, I thought she was like a cis girl that was trans girls for cosmetics, but she wasn't. She just had serious bucks to do some serious work on herself. What's really sad is she was looking on just hormones. She was fit, curving, nice bust, and then she went and got double D's installed. And she's blown up her lips with Botox too. So, holy crap. But that's what she was, and more power to her. And she's making good money. And she's openly declaring that she's not going to be getting her stuff redone, that she's a transgender person. She's not transsexual. But let's see if this is loaded yet. Jessica James was found dead in her apartment in San Fernando, unconscious. Hadn't heard from her in several days. Sounds like a drug overdose. Medical examiners, they're not saying anything yet about that. I don't even, never heard of her. Never even seen a picture of her. Back to this shit. Where'd it go? Fuck, I must have closed it. Yeah. Oh, fucking misgendering and dead naming. Next up, we have the officer who forced handcuffed women he was taking home from the hospital to sex gets 90 days. This was in Newsweek, so that's a pretty reliable outlet. I didn't even open it. I didn't even read it. I'm so sick of seeing this shit. Rape plus white privilege plus thin blue line equals light sentence. November 14th. November is Transgender Awareness Month. There are 1.4 million transgender Americans admitting it. We won't be erased. That's from Robert Chris Clinkscales, a Papa Bear I met in Dallas last week over the lunacy. That's the trans girl, 7-year-old trans girl's name. And here we have Rand Paul demands media outlets to print whistleblower's name. Do your job and print his name. I didn't open that one either. How many other states besides Kentucky have 2 flaming assholes for senators? Man, here's I shared a wiki there. You know, there's a lot of controversy about transgender people in sports, and I have to walk real carefully around with trans people because some of them are like, you know, being unreasonable about this. There are trans women who really shouldn't be competing against women. I mean, it's just, you know, excuse me, their muscles are masculine. You know, that's not right, and they need to be measuring the musculature. This is like everything else that people are freaking out about trans people in public. Okay, see, this is why I read them. There's a redundancy here. I wrote about twice. The controversy over trans people in sports is nothing new, dating back to the 1940s. I think they need to measure musculature and disqualify trans people whose is too. Yeah, that's no good either. Whose musculature is too masculine to compete fairly or too feminine to compete safely. Let's take a little pause to twist a hooter. And I see my new niece. Have I talked about this yet? I got my present from God was 135 Ugandan queer refugees stuck in the holding area in the Kakuma Kenya camp because they won't let them place them out into the general population until they get some like guarantees of safety, because it's just, you know, they're running away from a country that wants them dead to another country that wants them dead, and they're stuck in the camp. And I'm now the I'm now their I don't know what to call me, what I'm doing. There's a lesbian sister in her mid-20s, and these are like city kids. A lot of them with, you know, auto mechanics and shit like that. And they're one of their leaders, I guess the main spokesperson is a lesbian, cisgender lesbian. There's like 30 trans people, and you know, only a few people over 30. The oldest one is 42, the youngest is 18, and there's about 30 that are trans, and they're bored as fuck. They're asking for like balls and skid jump ropes and things like that. Um, and phones. We need phones. I'm trying to find out how much phones and soap. So, soap. They get a quarter bar of soap when they come in, and that's it ever. They never get more. Um, the water, they have plenty of water in big tanks and shit, but the water's too salty to really enjoy drinking. You can't drink a lot of salty water, or you're gonna get sick. Um, oh yeah, and they're getting bit by centipedes and scorpions. Yeah, she just woke up, and we're 12 hours apart. Let's see what's up there. Okay, she woke up and commented, I created a new group. They're calling themselves the Kakuma United Rainbow Refugees, and I made a group, the Kakuma United Rainbow Refugee Rescue Rangers. Made her um doing my job, honey. She was raised Muslim and then converted to Christianity on her own. And when people, start thanking me for things that are really, really embarrassing for them to be thanking me about, I tell them, don't thank me, thank God. I'm just doing my job. But I'll say, thank the boss. I'm just doing my job. So she's starting to call him boss. Okay, so here's the introduction that I wrote for the group. Well, the group is, a simple introduction describing the group was, this group is to support the LGBTQ refugees in a camp in Kakuma, Kenya. And this is an old response too to people that she's like, got a picture of one of them little TV kids throwing me a kiss saying, "You the best." My comeback from that is, please don't let it get around. I'm trying to stay anonymous. I guess I can forget that at this point. Okay, so my introduction to the group was, and I abbreviated Kakuma and all that to KURR. Is God's 65th birthday present to me. Thanks for joining me in fulfilling the commandment to not stand by our fellows in distress. Aisha, the spokesperson, has started calling God the boss now whenever I give her new ideas to take to her teammates in the Kakuma United Rainbow Refugees. Just what we have here is 135 LGBTQ refugees between 18 and 42, but only a few over 30. About 30 of them transgender, many with marketable skills, being detained in the placement center of a current state-of-the-art concentration camp, like those that are being built under contract with private prison corporations all over the world, getting fed only sorghum mush and stung by centipedes and scorpions. There's plenty of clean water, but it's too salty to drink. They're stuck there because they don't want to be placed in the extremely homophobic general camp community without guarantees of safety. Ultimately, they want to leave Africa for anywhere they would be safe and accepted, most preferably Canada. At present, they are in dire need of phones with service, soap, sanitary pads, dental hygiene products, bug repellent, underwear, outerwear, and shoes. Not so critical is that they're bored and are asking for balls, jump ropes, and other athletic equipment. And 2 people already want to join. This is the friend, I think, in Nairobi. And somebody in the LGBTQ community that knows that's a friend of a friend. Cool. Okay, let's see what else is going on. Oh, I have somebody's talking to me. I better see what he said. Where'd it go? That's the somebody wants to talk to you in your chatter noise. What's up here? No, I'm okay. No big deal. That's Aisha. Give me a stroke. I really I didn't been feeling well at all because of my sinuses lately. There's been too much dust. The dust has just been tearing me up, and the post-nasal drip gets real bad from the dust, and there's nothing I can do about dust in this town. And when the pollen gets up too high, which I think it's mesquite pollen time right now, just starting, it gets worse. And it's always some. And you're always gonna hear me snuffling and coughing. Some. Always. It's not COPD, trust me. I mean, thanks for your concern, assholes. I know you want me to die, but it ain't gonna happen that way. Still nobody wants to talk to me tonight. Oh well. Hardly nobody's watching either. Thanks for the ones who are. Oh yeah, you're out of the pool. I don't need to see all titties. Page full of titties is not going to interest me. Neither is a page full of dicks. Well, here's Michael McNally, who I forget what his trip is. I think he's straight and is to the global human rights activism crowd. Let's see what he's about, because that's where I got the story about Iraq. He's not saying where he's from or how he identifies. but his friends are definitely the international human rights crowd. So his response to me, when I asked about war crimes trials, he said, "Can wish, never happen unless U.S. is overthrown." Well, I spent the last 56 years uh, working with people who are trying to get the U.S. reinstated properly by using our rule of law to get rid of the corruption that's occurred since the Kennedy assassination and the military-industrial complex taking over. If I don't like to snivel. Ace is such a sweetheart. She's overwhelmed with what I'm telling her, what she's learning from me and what she sees me trying to do. She's overwhelmed and just fawning all over me, which gets me nuts because I can't. It's just like it's too embarrassing for me. She went and shared my post about my allergies, me not feeling real well, and then she's like, she's private. She's saying, telling me she's sorry that I feel badly, and I said that's not such a big deal because it's just my allergies, and I'm used to it. And then she said, "Oh, now I have to. I shared that post, and I'll delete it." And I said, "Thank you. I really don't like to whine much in public." And now I'm getting her. I told her my marching orders are in this song, and I'm getting her to accentuate the positive. Unfortunately, I can't play shit like this while I'm streaming because I'll get a copyright hit. Google so far. Google is just the whole thing is just it's all DARPANet. They just converted the DARPANet as a psychological war zone. That's all it is. That's all this fucking shit is a psychological war zone. But my theme song is accentuate the positive. Now who's do I want to give her? Let's give her Aretha's. She'll like that. For a black lady, for sure. This song's been recorded by so many different people. It's originally a Johnny Mercer tune. I think Bing Crosby's the one that made it famous. Ella Fitzgerald's version's lovely. Dr. John's is outstanding. Paul McCartney's is pretty nice. See what else is going on. I get people that'll come and just start liking shit, and my notifications will blow up my notifications, and I can't, I lose things that get lost in there. Okay, back to the feed. We're up to 485 friends. It's 15 more. There's a prize for my 500th friend. I don't know what it is yet, but there's a prize for the 500th friend. Probably I send them a flak jacket or something. Okay, so let's get back to my feed. I just had no comment for this. Just needed to share it. Somebody posted a picture of two of the. No, there's four. Trump's $3.6 billion wall defeated with a $100 cordless saw. Ay, 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 ay. Well, for the assholes that were wondering about how much I raised for Equality Arizona, it was $50, and thank you to the 3 or 4 people that did donate. I gave. And the birthday greetings are still rolling in. Yay! From my imaginary friends. Ah, shit. Fucking, I don't like. I really hate it when I'm writing somebody's name and Facebook tags it automatically for me. I think I might be able to go back to bed soon. Appear on my wall, you're gone. Oh shit, I missed. Escaped. Grr. And they just like appear on the wall and start crawling north. And I got up, I swept everything out real good, sprayed the shit out of the baseboards. I don't know where the fuck they're coming from. Ah! Oh, that's the one I just missed. Not missing it twice, motherfucker. No, he's too quick. Let's see how he likes a little chemical warfare. lavender scented raid. Yeah. These guys, there weren't any when I moved in. None, zero. And then when I moved in, I brought some with my luggage, and they never took hold. I just killed them and bombed a couple of times, and they never took hold. And I hardly ever see any. Just a few in the kitchen now and then, until the apartment next door emptied out. And I had mice here before they did, but we got rid of those and plugged up the hole from next door where they were coming in. But they can, they got in through the patio door. They probably escaped into the garden, came around the building, and got into my apartment when we plugged up the hole they were getting into. And little fucker stripped the traps all the time. Nah. And the landlord's been non-responsive about, it's like, you're on your own with the roaches. She was going to get back to me with the mice, but they don't want to put weather stripping on the patio door for some reason. Otherwise, it's been, this is a really good management company, and the rent's reasonable, and I don't want to make too many waves. Like complaining about it to the city kind of shit. I got run out of a place because of that. Assholes. Okay, well, let's just go. This is somebody else's. People in therapy are often in therapy to deal with the people in their lives who won't go to therapy. And then there's some memes from Lisette. Picture of parents clipping a child's transgender wings. And trans colors saying protect trans kids. And Lisette's comment, our children are gifts that we have been entrusted to love, guide, and protect. November is Transgender Awareness Month. And her tag is Parents for Transgender Equality and Proud Mommy. Carl Reiner, I never read this. Now this is good. This is a good time to read this one. I never read this one. Carl Reiner at 96 wants to live until 2020 so he can help dump Trump. This should be good. And this was in the HuffPost. On October 30th, 2018, he said this. And have this on Twitter, and that's always fucked up. Because it won't play. You have to go to Twitter to play it. It won't play in the actual article. That's like quoting it. You have to go to Twitter. Wait for that to load. So this is, and I know my account's suspended and I'm not permitted to do anything. And this is actually from last year.
I'm Carl Reiner. I'm 96 and a half years old, and I've seen a lot of things in my lifetime. I lived through the Great Depression. I served in World War II in our fight to defeat fascism. I've seen the invention of television and performed on television even before my family owned one. What I've never seen is the American people being lied to every single day about everything. Lies about climate change, lies about protecting Medicare and Social Security, lies about attacking our elections, lies about protecting people with pre-existing conditions. In my 96 and a half years, I've seen a lot of things, but the one thing I cannot bear to see is America being destroyed by racism, fear-mongering, and lies. Fortunately, there is something we can do about that. On November 6th, we can vote for elected officials who will hold this president accountable. And after we've done that, my personal goal will be to stick around until 2020 and vote to make sure we have a decent, moral, law-abiding citizen in Washington who will make us all proud again to live in America.
All right, Skipper.
On November 6th, vote.
We did. Did a good job on the midterms.
I'm Carl Reiner. I
flipped the House. That was his message for the midterms. I can hardly wait to hear him get going on. I mean, that's so right on. That's what they're doing. You know, my whole life, the day they shot John Kennedy, I was in line waiting to go back and waiting to get let inside the school. They didn't open the doors until like 5 or 10 minutes to 1. And while we're waiting in line, one of the kids in the next grade above me come through the line announcing what had happened. And then we went up into our first period class was, afternoon class was social studies, which was being taught by a gay man. We had been learning about all the revolutions and coups and shit in the banana republics. And I don't remember exactly what Mr. Bluestein said when he came to the podium that day, but it was something to the effect of, we just been a coup d'etat in America, and they're going to blame the patsy. They're going to find a patsy to blame it on. And this was before they'd even caught Oswald. Oswald was still at large at that hour. and Mr. Bluestein called it. So here we were, the kids of factory owners and retail store owners, in one of the most prosperous times. You know, Chicago had been a building boom from the end of World War II. And, we were the Happy Days kids. The only thing we had to worry about was the Russians nuking us. And so once a week we had to go out in the hall and stick our heads stick our heads on the ground there, go into a talk for a couple of minutes. That was our fear conditioning. That was the only thing we had to worry about. Everything else was beautiful. And in Chicago, it was like, for the ghetto people, it's like, hey, you can get up. And they did get up. A lot of them did get up. There's, they're pretty old, Hispanic and Black upper class in Chicago. Very old. Because Chicago, if you couldn't make it in Chicago, you couldn't make it anywhere. And yeah, it's real apartheid, but there's an even there's a flat playing field for everybody downtown and in business and commercial districts and shit. Well, not in the neighborhoods, I suppose, but certainly downtown. It's a flat playing field. You can get whatever you can get in Chicago if you play the game the right way. Doesn't matter your color. Never did. Well, maybe did at one time, but certainly not when I was a child in the 50s. It's a piece of research I need to do. Here's Ann Murdoch, one of our active duty trans people. I think it's Captain or Major Murdoch, is well, you address her. Is going to the polls. Seems in Fairfax County, the public school board has a battle for an LGBT inclusive against an LGBT inclusive candidate. This is a nationwide issue. Probably, the two principal issues in the trans equality battle is that the religious fanatics do not want to include sexual orientation and gender expression into protected under sex discrimination. They want to be able to discriminate against queers. And they're fighting against the passage of the Equality Act and against the inclusion of it in anti-discrimination ordinances, and they're attacking anti-discrimination ordinances in cities with state discriminatory law. So we need to vote. And you need to do more than vote. You need to participate in the public hearings and shit. You need to keep after your Congress people, tell them how you want to vote on everything. Anything that affects you, make sure your congressman knows how you feel about it. Or alderman, your city council person. That's those. The way the constitutional law in the United States of America was set up. I forget what I just saw the right term for it. Is that the states are autonomous, pretty much, and as long as their law conforms to the federal law, they're the ones that set the rules for their states. And then and same down to the municipal. Once you incorporate your municipality, you're independent of the state, and you're just beholden to the Constitution. And if there's something about the state law that isn't quite right to your city, you can modify it as long as it doesn't violate the federal law. But for the last 50 years or so, since the passage of the Civil Rights Act, I think it's Title IX. I forget. Yeah, it's Title IX. It's Title VII. Yeah, Title IX and Title VII. There's Civil Rights Act, and I always confuse the two. Civil Rights Act and Education Act, and it's Title IX in one of them and Title VII in the other one, that defines sex discrimination, but it doesn't include orientation or identity. And the precedent has been in our favor in the courts, which is right now being deliberated in the Supreme Court. It's just always been ruled that sex, discrimination against same-sex attracted people or gender variant people was a form of sex discrimination. The judges just I don't know about all of them, but the majority certainly have built up a large body of precedent saying that it is. Oh, 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 that's what. Oh, that's what she was upset about. Oh. Feel a sermon coming on me. I better listen to that. I don't know how that one goes. It's kind of a spoken introduction to the song. Accentuate the positive, eliminate the negative. Shit. She just gave me some bad news. She's telling me the best cargo carrier is G4S. I've never really looked up G4S. I just know that they're the enemy. Never really looked, I just know they're the enemy. Read enough about them, but I've never looked them up. Now I need to, because she's telling me G4S cargo is their best option. Let's just see what comes back. G4S Security Company. G4S PLC is a British multinational security services company headquartered in London. Company was set up in 2004 when London-based company SecureCore amalgamated with Danish business group 4 Falck. So it's Euro ashes. Customized security products, services, and solutions to clients. Oh God. These are the fucks that got the downtown security contract. Downtown Tucson, for anybody who doesn't know me. That's all the Israeli shit. Their products and services, corporate risk, G4S partners with the Zionists. I bet if you look beneath the board on the company, you're gonna find the Zionists right there. Focus on reducing risk, increasing revenue, and expanding profitability. Software and technology, G4S delivers advanced security software and technology solutions to optimize security programs. That's a real big, the Israelis are making a lot of money just making slight modifications to existing software and then reselling it to despots. Systems integration. G4S provides customized electronic and physical security systems to protect key assets and optimize their operations. This is the other thing they do, is they bundle it together with the hardware, the spyware, the hardware, the cameras and shit. Security officers. Whether your location involves extensive customer interaction or significant security challenges, G4S has the right personnel for the job. Doesn't really say anything about G4S cargo. Let's see what we can get for G4S cargo. I'm just trying to get a quote on package rates. And from Tucson to Nairobi. and uh, I called American Airlines. I just want to get package and LD2 containers and container rate. And American didn't have it, but they had something transline or something interline or something like that that they worked with, which is really just a cheesy broker guy picked up the phone and was telling me to email. And it's like, no, man, just give me a fucking quote. And we couldn't do that. It's like, you want to email me? Here's my address. He didn't want to do that either. It's like, okay, bye. So I told Asa that I was having trouble with that, and she come back this morning with G4S cargo. Wait. Whoever's here. I'm really not. I'm like just at my desk in my feed. In my yes. Okay, Hindus. Aisha's adding them. Good. Let's make her a moderator. Okay, well, let's get back to my feed. See what else needs proofreading. I'll probably go back to bed soon, but certainly before dawn, because I won't be sleeping very long. I'm not that tired. Did you know that before Isaac Newton invented gravity in 1869, people could fly? Microsoft tried a 4-day work week in Japan. Productivity jumped 40%. Whoopee. Fuck the Melbourne Cup. I didn't open this one. Family behind Krispy Kreme Panera Bread admits to Nazi ties. But they're both dead now. I don't think I want to even look at that. I didn't look at it before. No, I want to go back to my personal. I go back to my wall, and I'm proofreading. That's the only reason I'm doing this live is so that I can read it out loud. I don't need to read other people's shit out loud right now. I need to read my own shit out loud right now. So while I'm scrolling, I suppose I should just ramble so that you're not looking at, I'm not giving you the blank look. Yeah, I love it. I love it how mentally ill people diagnose me. Mentally ill perverts, like, who probably have IQs that are, no, I don't even like IQ. I mean, these people just got delusions of intellect. And they're totally deluded about, there being any social value to what they're doing when they, are stalking people and ridiculing them and tormenting them because they don't agree with their politics or religion. That's just fucking nuts. With no life. I mean, like, who's got the fucking time for that shit? The Sneasel character's got dozens of threads he's running on people. I mean, when do you do anything for yourself, dude? I mean, I mean, besides shaving and jerking off? I mean, like, what the fuck else do you do besides, like, torment people, try to destroy their lives? Oh, here's the piece I didn't get to this yet. I shared Cat Stevens' Oh Very Young. And this little piece was living trans, born this way. This was my more polite. Oh, this was before I blew my cork. this is before I blew my cork. I mean, the two genders fallacy it's getting old because these people are just like relying on lies to try and invalidate people for living the way they were born instead of conforming to societal expectations based on their genitals. Intersex heirs, my tags are living trans and born this way. Intersex and transgender in one person. The monkey's in the middle. I'm not. I have no idea what was down there before they cut. All I know is that my secondary sexual characteristics have always been more feminine than masculine. And my inner self sees me as female. I had to train myself out of acting like a woman when I was young. So anyway, as the oppressive sex-gender binary imposed on humanity by Judeo-Christian imperialist colonialism crumbles with the emergence of a unified queer community that has forged powerful ties to progressive straight communities who embrace diversity with love and acceptance rather than recoil from it in fear and loathing, we are witnessing the emergence of the first generation of happy trans kids and reasonably well-adjusted trans adults. Transsexual women often talk about finally being complete women and living the dream after their surgeries, sometimes going on to talk about wild sex with multiple partners, sometimes at the same time. That's not my dream. I had vivid dreams of being a wife and mother giving birth. That's not going to happen with any current technology. I'm good with that. I'm good with what I was born with. Many trans people live full-time in a transgender role for decades without any hormones either. As it became safer to be trans in public, many lifetime cross-dressers have been coming out of the closet. It's just praying to the boss for simplification. I told her good luck with that. Be careful what you wish for. Life in this world is an intelligence test, and the big guy has a sixth sense of humor. Where was I? Oh, okay. As it became safer to be trans in public, many lifetime cross-dressers have been coming out of the closet and deciding to go the whole route. These people are being challenged as transgenders by transsexuals, declaring they couldn't possibly be true transsexual because they live with a penis so long. The truth of it is, a lot more trans feminine people adapt to the transgender condition and don't modify their genitals to bring them into congruence with their gender than do. Let's keep it simple, stupid. Let's kiss. You know, KISS. Let's kiss. Oh boy. I'll feel you all the way over here, baby. So oh boy. Oh boy. You know, all these people are all worried about their right to fuck whoever they want and however they want to do it. This is what my queer life is about. Um she's just adoring me. And when she came right back and said, you know, obediently, it's like she needs a mother. Um, and I said, oh boy, be careful how seriously you take anything I tell you too about communicating with God, that is. And here she comes, I'm sorry, sometimes I type mummy and later delete. But this happens because you deserve more than being a sister to me. I love you from the bottom of my heart. So I feel you all the way from over here, little one. You're not the first queer youth I've found myself being the only adult in their lives either. Nobody has ever brought their 135 of their friends with her, them needing the same, at least one adult to look up to before. I've been calling myself auntie for years, if you feel funny about sister. And that's what I am for the community, is an auntie that um, kids who need somebody, a sounding board, somebody to listen to them and not instantly criticize them for what they said. I'm here. You know, I may not agree with you, but I'm going to be constructive in my criticism and I'm not going to deny your identity. Everybody's shit is valid. I might tell you that I think it's self-destructive, but everybody's shit is valid. That's that. And I'm so sick and tired of arguing with people, straight and gay, cis and trans, about all of this shit. Now, just, it is what it is. And everybody, no matter what their sexual orientation is or their gender expression, is entitled to equal protection under the law. They're entitled to not be targeted just because they're queer. I'm sorry. This needs to end. Let's see if that last bit got anybody's attention. No. That's just that time. It's 4:20. It's 4:20. Smoke them if you got them. This week we're smoking, well, we've been smoking a Primo Mexican, Sensimilla, the very little bud. In it, very well trimmed. There's very little waste at all. No sticks, no stems, no things you really don't need. Acapulco Gold, some badass weed. But this ain't Acapulco Gold. This is probably, I don't know. This is probably grown further north. Kind of green. But it's nice. It hasn't been compressed. It's, you know, it's just buds, loose packed buds. It's not bricked. Okay, that was one I knew I needed to proofread. Let's see what else is there that I haven't read yet. We read that. I haven't read this, and I can't because it's behind a fucking paywall. Conservative push to make trans kids and school sports the next battleground in the culture war. Shared by Debbie Jackson with the comment, one last and desperate and deceitful attack on trans youth since all the other ones have failed. And my comment I shared hers with is, this is all coming from the Vatican financing the faux Christian hate groups who are in turn working with ALEC, the American Legislative Exchange Council, selling the same snake oil to school boards, city councils, state legislatures, Congress, and now the Supreme Court. They managed to get the whole bathroom shit into the Supreme Court. The privacy and we don't need to. Well, if you're looking at anybody else's genitals in a ladies' room, you're the one that's the creep. Excuse me. Transgender woman goes in there. She's gonna sit down, do her thing, real discreetly, get up, check her makeup, wash her hands, check her makeup, and go. That's all we're in there for. I don't go in them because I don't want to be standing up to pee and shocking anybody. So I go in the men's room and shock them. It's more fun. And I'm not a transsexual. I'm openly transgender and trying to be proud of it. I'm getting good at it. I'm getting used to the idea of having a girl dick. Because I always wanted it gone, and I still want a vagina. I kind of like to be hermaphrodite. I was probably born pseudo hermaphrodite. They didn't like the way the shit was growing, so they dropped my testicles. They do that to a lot of people, and it totally fucks up the nerve endings. They're all in the wrong place now. My brain is looking for my internal gonads, not something hanging in the sack. The chemistry is all wrong, which makes me nuts and gives me bad allergies. I was getting blisters on my finger the other day. I don't even know where the hell it came from. Just shit. But it went away quick. Oh, I never read this one. That one looks like it's worth reading. But I'll go back to it. I'm still looking to read the shit that I wrote out loud. Make sure it's good. The idea at play here is that if it doesn't read out loud properly, it doesn't sound good when you read it out loud, it's not going to sound good in their head. Somebody made a big thank you note to reply to folks who speak some righteous truth to power about queer equality. Can we ditch the alphabet soup yet and go back to straight and queer like it was before it became hip to identify as all those letters that each other and straight people ridicule? I probably should rehearse that line I'm gonna be they're giving me the mic. I hope I'm gonna get some mic time they're not even calling it Transgender Day of Remembrance here. On the 20th, the UA Queer Coalition, I think it's a Gay Straight Alliance kind of thing, are calling it Transgender Day of Resilience. How's that? How's them apples? You know, it's like we're here. Get used to it. And we're nice people. You know, it's a fun party. There's gonna be a Thanksgiving thing, but they haven't announced the location yet. In simplest terms, cis and trans refer to the positions of two objects' placement on something. Cis meaning same and trans meaning opposite. Sex is in the genitals. Gender is in the brain. If your sex is the same as your gender, you are cis. If your sex is the same as, that's right, I did make that. I forgot to fix that before I posted it. Shit. If your sex is different, I never went back and fixed that. If your sex is different from your gender, you're trans. If you feel genderless, you're agender. And if you're comfortable with both, you're bigender or I never finished that either. Any number of other new terms that people are using. And these feelings are the result of activity in our brains that's determined, you know, it's the foundations are laid out by our genes that will give us the potential for growing into a person who is cisgender, transgender, agender, or bigender. The majority of them, I mean, massive majorities, sure it's less than 10, 15%, I'm going to put it at, are gender variant. To any significant degree, everybody's got a little man and woman in them. I mean, it's just the way we are because there's no such thing as a completely man brain or a woman brain. I mean, it's a mosaic, and it just, you know, masculinity and femininity express both physically and psychologically on a spectrum. It's not one or the other. Just stop with that. Just please stop with that. You being a cisgender person, that your sex and your gender match each other, and that you're heterosexual is wonderful. That you're typical. You're not normal, and we're not abnormal. You're fucking typical. That's it, baby. You're just fucking typical. So if you don't like cis, use straight, okay? Ditch crap like normal, real, biological, and all that other happy horse shit, would you please? Queer people are all normal, real, and biological too. Just atypical. Sports, if you will. Okay, cis male, cis female, trans male, trans female, bigender, agender. That's 6. Okay, that's fixed. I don't want to trouble you with it again. Okay, what else? Ah. Hello. I keep my medicines at my right hand, and I don't know what you call this mess over here at my left. Ashtray smoking shit. It's my little non-combat information center. The NCIC. I've been out of cough drops, so the coughing has been not any good lately. I gotta go get some tomorrow. Those help a lot. The jaw's been inflamed, and the only thing that really helps that is not to talk. The more air I pull in, the more bacteria I inhale, and the more it gets inflamed. A short little brain fart. Tell you what, my 2 least favorite isms are fanaticism and extremism. Oh, this was after I had to block a local kid that just got stuck on stupid over the Second Amendment. It was like, okay, I've had enough. Three, 4 times. I was like, Chris, just stop. I finally muted him for a month. I can't. There, once, if you're like completely closed-minded and trying to proselytize me, bye. Those 2 are what make all the other isms bad, particularly Catholicism, fundamentalism, Judaism, Mohammedanism, Hinduism, and even Buddhism, where the Buddhists were radicalized enough to commit genocide on the Muslim Rohingya in Myanmar. I don't need to read that. She's a sweetheart. Trump loses appeal in New York State tax case, must hand over returns. The reason he doesn't here, I probably wrote it here. No, fuck. Shit, fuck. I hate Facebook doing that. I really hate Facebook when it does that. Jump around and shit. Because you hit the wrong thing. Just all of a sudden you lose where you were. Or you'll be sitting there on your feed writing something, and there'll be home nasty shit come in, and you lose what, just like where'd it go? Okay, that's birthday greetings. We're well past this. Come on. This is the other thing I really hate. This is one of the things I hate most about Facebook. You can't search your wall very easily without just scrolling until you run into what you're looking for. So who's the diehard? You the one chronicling this? Fucking sadomasochistic voyeur. Do you do this with your hand on your dick? Are you getting paid to watch this? Who the fuck's been here straight along? I think I'm done. I'm feeling creeped on. Happy day. Thanks. Bye.